acknowledged under international law until 2004. Back to the official mission of the UN, to turn this world into a better place. This is highlighted by the Club of Rome, a group of 100 powerful men and women, set up in 1968 by, among others, David Rockefeller, at his private estate near Rome. A private club presenting itself as a think tank, providing suggestions to the UN. Its goal? To discuss its concern about the future of planet Earth, to come up with solutions, and to urge governments worldwide to act upon those solutions. In 1972, The Limits to Growth was published, the Club of Rome's first paper on the problems of humanity, followed by the First Global Revolution in 1991, in which humanity was outed as the root problem of all the misery in the world. In need of a common enemy against whom we can unite, we have decided that pollution, global warming, water shortages, famine, etc. are perfect. These are threats we need to confront together. But we should not fall into the trap of mistaking...
Alright, yeah, no, I thought I'd try something different. Alright, fuck, I haven't even put my camera on and shit. I haven't got anything sorted yet. I wasn't even sure how easy it was going to be to, like, get YouTube to work, because it's, like, quite a bit different from D-Live, actually. I wasn't really expecting how much different. I thought it was going to be, like, a lot more similar. There we go, there's me. Yay! We don't need the Commonwealth part of the fucking flag. Alright, so there we go. Right. So everyone saw this shit, hey? And can you get over it? Somebody said Montana looked like Joe Biden sniffing Idaho, and I can't unsee it. Like, my god, you can't unsee that shit. What the fuck? Stupid camera. Stupid camera. What the fuck? Oh, that just went haywire for no fucking reason. Bloody hell. That's annoying as fuck. Hang on. Sorry. I don't even know why the fuck that did that. I think I must have got trapped halfway between screens or something. And it decided I was going to do dumb shit. Annoys the fuck out of me when it does dumb shit. Especially once I've started doing things. Ah, fuck. How giant did it make this fucking thing? Really? There we go. Ah, shit. I don't have hat or anything on. Damn it. You try to cover a little bit more of my face than that. Ah, actually, get rid of the GIFs and shit. Stops things running as smoothly. Alright, well, anyway, yeah. I don't have 100% of what the fuck I was doing yet, and I haven't even shared this link anywhere. So you're the only one here so far, Snicker. It's like, shit, girl. You fucking really want to just jump on me that quick? Damn. Oh, the Fall of the Cabal was what Pastor was playing. But yeah, I have actually already played that before as well. I did that on the second night I was streaming, when I streamed for like 29 hours or some shit. I played Fall of the Cabal when I crashed out for the night. But I think I need to post this link around and shit and get a few more people here. Feel free to do the same. Post it around, please. and yeah, get a few more people here and shit, and then yeah, I'll start finding shit to actually do stuff with. I know it's just like nice and cozy with just me and you, hun, but I want more. I'm sure you understand. Alright, check it on pastas. Huh? Work. Really gonna crash now when I want to actually do things. Stupid Telegram. Yeah. No! It's gonna let me. Where else can I put it? What the fuck? Why does Salty Cricket Chat not even show up for me now? It doesn't even show up every time they message me and shit. Since I got banned there like the other week, when they let me back on, it doesn't even show up when I get messages and shit anymore. It's annoying as fuck. It looks like there's nothing happening, so I don't check it. And then I go and check and there's like 1,000 messages. I'm like, oh, for fuck's sake. Couple more blazers just to throw me around, and then we'll find something funny. And then something interesting. There you go. Yeah. I'm coming out of the closet, I'm super straight. Yeah, excellent. Where is it? Yeah. Right, I think I've done the sharing it round part and shit. I need to put it back on my screen so I can actually like interact with the chat. There we go. Yeah, now that I've shared it around, now I've shared it everywhere, I can actually interact with the chat and shit. I've worked it out. I gotta use this one, linked to another screen, and that's streaming. And then you need another device that you can do the chat part on. So you really actually need three screens to be able to do this properly. And I sort of get what someone had told me that, but I didn't realize like you could divide it up. You just need two to be able to stream, but to be able to like interact with the chat, you need another one. Hey Marsha. Hey Snicker. Love both of yous. You're the first ones here on my first live stream ever. There's number 1 and number 2. I got no mods, I don't even know how to do that shit yet. I'll look that up later. Why are you retracting messages already, Snicker? What are you doing? You're already trying to get me in trouble. Alright, now let's see if I can go back to what I was thinking of doing earlier. What was I thinking of doing earlier? Did I save the DW one? Fuck, I hope I did. I did. Right. So you remember this from a wee while back, right? Right. Everyone remembers this. But do you remember the different stories about it? So this one was the first one. Looks like a plasma direct energy, like DEW, direct energy, they don't say it, direct energy weapon, DEW. Hit. Rumour is this was a building where other viruses were being developed and it blew up. The mainstream media actually came out and said it was a lightning bolt that hit a power station. There was about 3 other different angles of it, and yeah, the mainstream media came out and said a lightning bolt hit a power station. Ah, I see, that's different. I can't get my face back up when I play shit through that. Bastards. Ah. So either that's there and I can do it, or it's not there and it's in the way. I mean, either I can do it and it's there, but it's in the way, or I can't do it at all. Annoying things to know. See, I've still got bits to work out. I'm sure you can help me with some of that, Snicker. Can't get video to play? Why not? You just refresh. No, you don't have to watch on Streamlabs. You're just watching on YouTube. You're all good. Yeah, you're just watching shit on YouTube. You know, yeah, you're not watching things on Streamlabs. Streamlabs is what I'm using to put this onto YouTube. That doesn't affect what you do. You're just watching on YouTube. Now you probably just log in on YouTube, to be honest. As long as you're logged in to watch shit on YouTube and stuff, you should be okay and be able to. Oh, you're already commenting, so maybe it's just refresh. Yeah, you're already in the comments, so you're here and you're logged in. So yeah, it must just be a need to refresh or something. Maybe it changes every time I change videos or something. I'm not sure. I don't know how long the delay is. I set for no delay. Hey, I've got 2 people watching and none of you liked me yet. Bloody hell. That's not cool. Who gets the first like? Come on, who gets the first like? Come on. I'm watching that 0 not change. Fuck yous. It's not very nice. But now we go from there to something I got I got sent or got put on my channel today. Autumn Noel actually comes up with some of the coolest shit. This be fucked up. But yeah, I can't get my camera and this on the screen at the same time now. I don't know what fucking settings I changed the other day. I might try and change them back, but it means I can't see the timestamp on things and move them backwards and forwards. So it's like one or the other, I don't know which way to go about that yet. I've got 1 like. Yay! Snicker's the first. Loves you, Snicker. Oh, which name did you end up going with? Did you sort yourself yet, for your platform? But check this shit out, honestly, check this shit out. Look at this. That ain't no fucking firestorm. A firestorm ends up looking like a tornado out of fire. Not a generated direct beam of energy. Serious, a firestorm looks like a tornado, not a line. Especially when the smoke's going the other direction and everything. No, that's fucking bullshit, eh?
Does direct energy weapons have anything to do with California's fires? A direct energy weapon is a ranged
I got 2 likes now, yay!
targets with highly focused energy. including laser, microwaves, and particle beams. Potential applications of this technology include weapons that target personnel, missiles, vehicles, and optical devices. In the United States, the Pentagon, DARPA, and the Air Force Research Laboratory, United States Army Armament Research Development and Engineering Center, and the Naval Research Laboratory are researching direct energy weapons and railguns to counter ballistic missiles, hypersonic cruise missiles, and hypersonic glide vehicles. These systems of missile defense are expected to come online no sooner than the mid to late 2020s. But could other countries possess this technology? Could the United States be prone to this technology by other adversaries? Russia, China, India, and the United Kingdom are also developing directed energy weapons. Operational advantages. Directed energy weapons could have several main advantages over conventional weaponry. Number 1. Direct energy weapons can use discreetly. Radiation above and below the visible spectrum is invisible and does not generate sound. Number 2. Light is only very slightly altered by gravity, giving it an almost perfectly flat trajectory.
Shit.
It is also
Okay, sorry, I see why.
and
Yeah.
anything resembling normal
My bad, thanks for pointing that out.
windage
Oh,
and
fuck.
Coriolis force.
I can't do it
This
without
is
stopping it.
much more precise and
We're up
extends
to
range
2
line of
minutes
sight.
40. Thank you. No, that's handy to point out, yeah. If I have it on the TV volume, it echoes back through here, through the microphone again. Yeah, I've got to have it on that. Thank you.
These systems of missile defense are expected to 5, depending on several operational advantages over conventional weapons, practically immune in anything resembling normal planetary conditions to both windage and Coriolis force. This makes aim much
Better?
more precise and extends the
Alright,
range
better?
to line of sight, limited by only beam diffraction and spread. 3. Lasers travel at light speed and have near infinite range and
Should just
therefore are
have, like,
suitable
the
for
volume,
use in space
the-
warfare. 4.
Yeah,
Laser
the volume
weapons
straight through
potentially
the laptop
eliminate
now
many
instead of
logistical
echoing back
problems in
through
terms of
the
ammunition
TV.
supply. As long as there is enough energy to power it, the laser ammunition supply is assured. And last, number 5, depending on several operational factors,
You're
directed
awesome.
energy
As
weapons
much-
may
see,
be
little
cheaper
things
to
that I
operate
keep
than
forgetting. I
conventional
actually had
weapons in
learned that
certain
one already.
contexts.
Yeah,
Could HAARP
I
be
had learned
behind
that
the
one already, but I
California
just,
fires
hadn't
located
changed
in
it because
Gakona, Alaska, United
and my other
States?
laptop
HAARP, which
got
stands for
stolen,
High
so
Frequency
that
Active
was usually
Auroral
what I had.
Research
And
Program. The
once
High
you've
Frequency
got the
Active
streaming
Auroral
software set
Research
up,
Program was
I just
initiated
changed
as an
that over
ionospheric
to like a
research
different
program
HDMI
jointly
channel,
funded
and
by
I can
U.S.
watch
Air
something
Force,
else
the
on
Navy,
there,
the
and not
University
even
of
worry
Alaska
about like the
Fairbanks,
actual
and the
streaming
Defense
thing.
Advanced
So I
Research
can still
Project
have 3 things
Agency,
going
as
again.
known as DARPA. It was
Yeah, I
designed and
worked that
built
one
by
out as
Bain
well.
Advanced Technologies. Its purpose was to
Just gotta
analyze the
remember to change the volume
ionosphere
to the
and
right
investigate the
device.
potential for developing ionospheric enhancement technology for radio communications and surveillance. As a university-owned facility, HAARP is a high-powered, high-frequency transmitter used for the study of ionosphere. But could HAARP be connected to chemtrails and these jets that are leaving chemtrails instead of contrails? I don't know if you folks ever noticed during the
Excellent.
evening when you
Yay,
see the
Masha.
contrails
Glad
and
you
then you
have.
wake up the next day and the whole skies are cloudy. And if you look close, it almost looks like the reflection of water, how the clouds take shape to the signals in the waves. The HAARP project directs a 3.6 megawatt signal in the 2.8 to 10 megahertz region of the high frequency band into the ionosphere. The signal may be pulsed or continuous. Effects of the transmission and any recovery period can be examined by using associated instrumentation, including VHF and UFH radars, HF receivers, and optical cameras. Now folks, could they be using this facility to target California and direct energy from the skies? I'll be showing some suspicious videos. Could this be the technology that are causing the fires in California? In these videos, it shows everything, the buildings to cars, anything synthetic being burned and melted, except for trees and other natural ambient things. And around the times of these California fires, there have been a lot of articles labeled, "Did California fires bring on cluster of mystery rashes?" Or could this be because of the high frequency waves or this megawatts of energy that HAARP is sending into the skies, directing it down and hitting human flesh, causing these rashes? And an article goes to say a California community is itching for answers after several neighbors reported getting rashes and what appears to be a bizarre allergic reaction. Many of the incidents happened last weekend in Rancho Cordova at a time when several fires broke out nearby that made many people wonder if the smoke in the air was causing the irritation. Quote, "My skin was getting tight and swollen and I was constantly itching my neck." End quote. Jenny Matamoros told CBS Sacramento. The truth is out there. If I've opened your mind, make sure you like, share, and subscribe.
Oh, I see. I can do that better. Now I can record actual segments, I see it. Now I can record segments and actually play them and post them later. Excellent. That's better. Excellent. Hey Sniffies, I'm guessing that's you, buddy? Shit, Sniffington beer this time. Salty forever, bud. Ah. So I think I have to get up to like 200 or 1,000 people on here before this is even worth anything and shit, eh? It's kind of annoying. I think I've got 7 people watching, 4 people have liked. I don't even know. How many subscribers do I have? Where does it say subscribers? Fuck yeah. Something I have to sort out later. Fuck it. Oh, poor nigga. That'd just be funny. Yeah, the 1,000 subs I'm guessing is what I have to work on, because the hours is probably going to be easy. Because once I start, I usually keep going, and especially now that I've worked out I can record just segments and stop them and then post them again later and shit as well. Yeah, neither. Fuck. Last time I was on YouTube was shit. Oh, Jacob Snake Up popped back up just before the election, and I think that was the last time I was on YouTube, modding and chatting on YouTube. It's weird, eh? Where's the stickers and shit? YouTube should have done better than this by now. Fuck. See, everything else is more fun. This is just chat, and then you have to put up with me. Yeah, go nuts. I was like, yeah, I'm not worried, eh? I've got another name on here as well. My other profile and shit's already on YouTube and shit. So, to be honest, Drunk Cunt was always supposed to be my practice one, and it's just become the one that I've become more known as now. But Drunk Cunt was always supposed to be my practice, and I didn't give a fuck about name. I just thought it was funny and shit and didn't care, and yeah, now everyone's just calling me that and doesn't even remember my first one. My other one is DB123. So if this dies, if I get cancelled and shit, I've still got another place to go. Yeah, I was a dick to you. Fucking A. Way back in the days when I was on Agent 6-1s. Fuck yes. Yeah. I was a mod on Agent 6-1. And he was like, fucking, yeah, talk to everyone against you and shit. Yeah, oh, fuck yeah, I know I was a dick. Yeah, fucking A. Because he was like, it was before I'd worked out that he was playing fucking silly games. I was the one who called him out on it and shit, and I got banned. Once I worked it out and fucking called him out in public about it, I was the one that got banned over it.
This is your boy Vagapan, and remember, this is the real world.
Yeah.
Stay strapped.
His channel basically fell apart after I did that too, by the way. It fucking pretty much destroyed him. Jacob Snake Up never did. Jacob was fucking good. Jacob wasn't against anyone else, he didn't give a fuck, he was just doing his own thing and shit. And everyone kept attacking him, he got fucking so much harassment it wasn't funny. And he wasn't against anyone at all, he was just streaming what was on. And fuck, he got death threats from Antifa and all sorts of shit. But yeah, as I say, it's I was actually yeah. I was like quite a bit responsible for the why for the why Agent 61 isn't anywhere anymore. Because of that shitty fucking pool, and I called him out on it. On a live stream, got myself banned from his Discord, had all his mods fucking try and stalk my Discord and everything afterwards for ages. Anyone who was on my Discord who went back onto his channel, they got banned as well. For fuck's sake. Sorry, someone's at the door. I'm gonna have to be back in a sec. Shit, let me put on something. This is fucked up.
Caught on camera that will make you question literally everything. This is a video of the Pope at an event where he's just rubbing his face like he's in some pain. And next thing you know, he pulls his face. I have to slow this down one more time. Look at this. I don't know what's going on here, you guys, but I'm kind of scared. Follow for more.
No phone, no fucking car, no way to get in touch with you anymore. Not yet. No, not yet. I was actually waiting for you. Dude, where's my fucking driver's license?
Yeah, I know. The dude's in Timaru, bro. I'll get it later on when he gets to you.
Dude, why didn't they just take the money and leave my fucking wallet? My car, though?
No, I only seen the fucking one of these.
Dude, I even knew I got wasted. I fucking stashed my fucking good laptop and shit, bro. Oh, fuck. I'm actually live streaming at the moment. Fuck! Shit. Hang on. I have to find something else to put on while I have a little bit of a fucking off-screen conversation. Let me find something that will, like, tide everyone over while I... What the fuck? While I sort out this shit. Hashtag what? Hashtag... Still live, bud.
Oh, kia ora koutou.
All over the world. It's not long enough. Fuck it. Hey.
Yeah, I just need a list.
Yeah. I realized that.
There's the light.
Yes. Shit. Why can't I find something to actually fucking play? Actually. Fuck's sake. I have to reset. This should do it then. Now take off my mic.
It was clear from the start that the Population Council had nothing to do with protecting women's health and safety. It had everything to do with the cabal's depopulation program. The intrauterine device they forced on millions of women in India, Pakistan, South Korea and Taiwan caused major side effects, such as severe pains, protracted bleeding, pelvic inflammatory disease, and perforated uteruses. Nonetheless, with the help of the national governments of those countries that were paid millions of dollars in blood money, the birth control measures continued without any care or compensation for the women in question. In 1969, the Population Council published an article entitled Beyond Family Planning. The document offered legitimacy to, for instance, adding fertility control agents to water supplies in urban areas, temporary sterilization of all young women via time capsule contraceptives, and compulsory sterilization of men with 3 or more children. Once again, the Population Council actually presents itself as addressing critical health and development issues, such as voluntary family planning. voluntary. Really? These are the kind of population control NGOs we are dealing with. There are 37 NGOs right now that deal with the overpopulation program. 37 NGOs worldwide advocating negative population growth, repeating over and over again the words sustainability, devastating effects, overpopulation, environment. Call it group hypnosis, call it brainwashing. You don't believe me? Here are just a few. Negative Population Growth, a non-profit membership organization that aims to educate the American public and political leaders about the devastating effects of overpopulation on the environment, natural resources, and the overall standard of living. They advocate for a significant reduction in current population numbers in the US. A significant reduction? How, for God's sake? The 10 Million Club Foundation. This Dutch foundation aims to bring about public awareness of the need to reduce the Netherlands' population significantly so as to create a truly sustainable society. Reduce the population of my country significantly? Excuse me? Rientro Dolce, an Italian association that concerns itself with overpopulation, environment and energy. Its name comes from Marco Panella's idea of a mild return to a world with 2 billion human beings. What? A mild return? What does that mean? Killing the other 5.5 billion softly with a smile? Hugging them to death? Oh, and then there's Planned Parenthood. Yet another NGO that has our best interests at heart. The International Planned Parenthood Federation was founded in Brooklyn, New York in 1917 by Margaret Sanger as a birth control clinic. In 1942, the name Planned Parenthood was chosen. Planned Parenthood grew into a huge enterprise with more than 600 abortion clinics in the US alone. Every year, it is responsible for the abortion of approximately 350,000 babies. In several American states, abortion is allowed up to and including the moment of birth. Full-term abortion is the term coined for this event. The doctors at Planned Parenthood have no problems with this. On the contrary, on several occasions, medical staff were caught on hidden cameras selling body parts of aborted babies to third parties. Nurses admitted to knowing exactly how to turn the baby in its mother's womb so that the internal organs would not be harmed during the abortion in order to harvest them after the procedure. They admitted the aborted babies were alive when their bodies were cut open to retrieve the organs, commissioned by well-paying third parties.
A lot of people want intact hearts these days because they're looking for specific nodes. Yesterday was the first time she said people wanted lungs. And then, like I said, always as many intact livers as possible. People just want
livers.
People want lower extremities too, which that's simple. I mean, that's easy. I don't know what they're doing with it. I guess they want muscle. But
Yeah, a dime a dozen.
I'm the medical director for the national office for all of
Right.
Affiliates.
you know, I I'm going to throw a number out. I would say it's probably anywhere from $30 to $100, depending on the facility and what's involved.
The $30 to $100 price, that's per specimen that we're talking
Per
about, right?
specimen.
Yeah.
Yes.
How much of a difference can that actually make if you know what's expected or what we need versus?
It makes a huge difference. I'd say a lot of people want liver, and for that reason, most providers will do this case under ultrasound guidance, so they'll know where they're putting their forceps. Then a rate-limiting step of the procedure is calvarium. Calvarium, the head is basically the biggest part. Most of the other stuff can come out intact.
Right.
It's very rare to have a patient that doesn't have enough dilation to evacuate all the other
To bring the body cavity out intact and all that.
So then you're just kind of cognizant of where you put your crossbars. You try to intentionally go above and below the thorax so that, we've been very good at getting hard, long liver because we know that, so I'm not going to crush that part. I'm going to basically crush below, I'm going to crush above, and I'm going to see if I can get it out intact. And with the calvarium, in general, some people will actually try to change the presentation so that it's not vertex. So when it's a vertex presentation, you never have enough dilation in the beginning of the case unless you have a real huge amount of dilation to deliver an intact calvarium. So if you do it starting from the breech presentation, there's dilation that happens as the case goes on, and often the last you can evacuate an intact calvarium. So I mean, there are certainly steps that can be taken.
So they can convert to
ensure.
breech, for example, at the start of the...
Exactly. They can, under ultrasound guidance, they can just change the presentation. Federal abortion ban is a law, and laws are up to interpretation. So if I say on day one I do not intend to do this, what ultimately happens doesn't matter.
Realistically, if we were to do an agreement with you guys, what do we think you could get? I mean, what do you feel like you could get?
Volume-wise?
Yeah,
Okay.
on specifically liver tissue, because that's such an area of demand for us.
Right. So liver and what about intact specimens?
Oh yeah, I mean, if you had intact cases, which we've done a lot, so we've sometimes shipped those back to our lab in its entirety.
So what would keep your lab happy? Like, what would make your lab happy?
Another 50 livers a week.
So you can handle that?
Yeah.
Okay.
As you probably know, potentially, I mean, I think that one of the issues with neural tissue is so fragile. It's insanely fragile.
Right.
I was going to say is that I know we get requests for it's the hardest thing in the world to ship.
You do is the whole calvarium.
That's it. Yeah, that's the easiest way. And I mean, we've actually had good success with that in the past. So
make sure the eyes are closed.
Tell the lab it's coming. Did I open the box? Oh,
I know.
God. You know what I mean? So where so many of the academic labs cannot fly like that. They're just not capable.
Why is that? I don't understand that.
It's almost like they don't want to know where it comes from. I can see that. Where they're like, we need limbs, but no hands and feet need to be attached. And you're like...
Or they just want the long bones and they don't want to see that
they want you to take it all off. Like, make it so that we don't know what it is.
Yeah.
It's like...
Bone the chicken for me, and then
that's it.
then I'll eat it.
But we know what it is. I mean, but their lab...
So this goes to that whole stigma.
Oh, yeah.
This is...
And their lab techs freak out and have meltdowns, and so it's just kind of like, I think you're either in the cause or you're not.
Yeah.
And if you're not in the cause, like, they don't need you around.
Get out.
They need champions. And if you're not a champion, you should go.
Yeah.
Because that's just, and I don't know, the clinics, they're very guarded, as they should be.
Yeah.
And who do they let in their house? They want champions in their house, right?
Hello, I'm Cecile Richards, President of Planned Parenthood Federation of America. I want to be really clear. The allegation that Planned Parenthood profits in any way from tissue donation is not true.
What would you expect for intact tissue? What sort of compensation? What sort of...
Well, why don't you start by telling me what you're used to paying?
Tell me what you really...
$75 a specimen.
Oh, that's way too low. Really, that's way too low. I want to keep you happy.
I've been at places that did 50 too. But see, we're not in it for the money. Now, this is for tissue that you actually take, not just the tissue that the person volunteered that you can't find anything.
Exactly.
And here's another thought is, we can talk about specimen as per specimen per case or per procured tissue sample. Which would be, so if we're able to get a liver thymus pair, maybe that is $75 per specimen, and so that's for for liver thymus pair, and that's $150. Versus if we can get liver thymus, brain hemisphere, and all that, then and then so that protects us, so that we're not paying for what we can't use. I mean, it also.
I want a Lamborghini. That's how I want a Lamborghini.
Don't we all, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Planned Parenthood has been receiving millions from, for instance, the American government, the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, the Buffett Foundation, the Ford Foundation, the Turner Foundation, and many others. The Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation gave no less than $89.5 million to Planned Parenthood. Why? To kill unborn babies? Why the heck do they call this charity? The most merciful thing that the large family does to one of its infant members is to kill it. The most urgent problem today is how to limit and discourage the over-fertility of the mentally and physically defective. A marriage license shall in itself give husband and wife only the right to a common household and not the right to parenthood. No woman shall have the legal right to bear a child, and no man shall have the right to become a father without a permit for parenthood. We don't want the word to go out that we want to exterminate the Negro population.
But from my view, I believe that there should be no more babies.
I admire Margaret Sanger enormously. Her courage, her tenacity, her vision.
President Trump ended the U.S. funding of Planned Parenthood in 2019. Oh, and just as we started editing this part 6, we received news that Henry Kissinger is one of 11 high-ranked officials who have just been removed from the Pentagon Defense Policy Board, effective immediately. Thank you, President Trump. We could talk about the UN forever, its brilliant business constructs, its evil deeds, and its hypnotic words to put up a smoke screen to divert the public from seeing the truth of its real threefold purpose: pillaging the resources of less developed countries, money laundering, and population control, better known as the Depopulation Program. The money laundering will be clarified next. We promise you, when we're done with the UN and its NGOs, you will never donate another dollar ever again to any one of them. Let's continue with more crime, fraud, and the front man of this entire scheme in Part 7. The United Nations, thought of by millions of people to be a benign organization with only our best interest at heart, turns out to be one of the main engines of the cabal. It is where deals are made, where money is laundered, and where dictators are kept steadily in their seats. The UN works with a multitude of NGOs, some officially under the umbrella of the UN, others more covertly. The term NGO, non-governmental organization, was actually invented by the UN back in 1945. You will soon understand why. It encompasses charities and non-profits, but also lobby groups for big corporations such as the World Economic Forum. At this moment, 5,500 NGOs have consultative status with the United Nations Economic and Social Council. This means they have a formal relationship with the UN and are allowed to participate in the work of the UN. They are all independent from government control and answer to one entity only: the United Nations. Interesting fact in and of itself, don't you think? What we stumbled upon during our research was an enormous cash flow between these NGOs. It seems like they all support each other's work, like one big happy family. Well, that is mostly a sign of money laundering. Mind you, there are big names involved here. The Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, the Buffett Foundation, the Ford Foundation, the Turner Foundation, the Rockefeller Foundation, the Clinton Foundation. Big names moving around even bigger amounts of money. Their financial reports seem impeccable, of course, but the money flow gets lost in the abundance of NGOs involved, the non-specific destination of the billions of dollars moved around like grants to recipients. What does that mean? And the existence of alliances of NGOs that makes things even less transparent. Like, for instance, the Fund for Shared Insight, a group of 7 funders, and a pool of financial and other resources to make grants to improve philanthropy. Nice and vague. Let's have a look at the Rockefeller Foundation. Did you know there's also the Rockefeller Philanthropy Advisors, the Rockefeller Brothers Fund, the Richard Rockefeller Fellowship, the David Rockefeller Fund, the Rockefeller Family Fund, the Winthrop Rockefeller Foundation, and the Eileen Rockefeller Growell Family Fund? They all move around tidal waves of money, I'm talking billions, often between foundations set up by members of the same family. Not only the Rockefellers show us clearly how to keep it in the family, Warren Buffett is another great example, with the Susan Thompson Buffett Foundation, named after Warren's wife, the Sherwood Foundation, set up by their daughter Susan Alice, the Howard G. Buffett Foundation, with their son Howard as chairman and CEO, the Novo Foundation, co-funded by their son Peter and his wife Jennifer, and the Buffett Early Childhood Fund, set up by Warren's daughter again, Susan Alice. In July 2020, Warren Buffett announced that he would, once again, it's sort of an annual thing, be giving 15.9 million Class B shares of his mega company, Berkshire Hathaway, to 5 charities. Take a wild guess. All of these shares, worth $2.9 billion, went to the very same Susan Thompson Buffett Foundation, the Sherwood Foundation, the Howard G. Buffett Foundation, the Novo Foundation, and the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. Now, the latter is not a big surprise, as Warren Buffett had taken Bill Gates under his wings back in 1991, when his mother set up a meeting between her 37-year-old son and the excessively rich and powerful tycoon, Warren Buffett. A deal was made, and from that moment on, the destinies of Bill and Warren were intertwined forever. More about which soon. Since 2006, Warren Buffett has moved $37 billion in shares to, well, basically his children, without paying a dime of tax. Why don't you try to donate some money to your children without the tax administration stepping in to claim a big chunk? By the way, the Buffett Foundation is known for its secrecy, often appearing under grand acknowledgements as an anonymous donor, which is rather strange when it concerns donations of many millions or even billions of dollars, simply unaccounted for. But like we said at the intro of this episode, these NGOs, no matter how big and powerful, are independent from government control. Let that sink in. The Buffett Foundation invests heavily in reproductive health and family planning grants across the world, including substantial investments in abortion and contraceptives. In the 1990s, the Buffett Foundation helped finance the development of the abortion drug RU486. Between 2001 and 2014, the foundation contributed over $1.5 billion to abortion-related causes, including at least $427 million to Planned Parenthood and $168 million to the National Abortion Federation. Remember from part 6 that the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation gave $89.5 million to Planned Parenthood? Were you shocked when you heard this number? Well, the Buffett Foundation makes the Gates Foundation pale in comparison. It gave Planned Parenthood $427 million. Why are all these most wealthy men alive so obsessed with killing babies? What we discovered upon investigating the largest and most influential NGOs was that they all primarily focus on reproductive health. In our previous episode, we showed you what that really means in practice. Eugenics, depopulation, pillaging less developed countries for their precious minerals, and money laundering. One of the brilliant moves when it comes to money laundering is the transfer to subsidiaries, also known as child companies, to make things even less transparent. Let's have a look at some examples. Ever heard of Arabella Advisors? Probably not. Yet you should. Here's why. Arabella Advisors is a for-profit consulting company founded in 2005 by former Clinton administration appointee Eric Kessler. According to Arabella's own website, they provide strategic guidance for effective philanthropy. Effective philanthropy,
He needs
huh?
some milk.
Let's see what that means. Arabella claims to have carried out more than 150 projects for clients that are worth more than $100 billion. Not exactly a small fish, right? What else? Arabella manages 4 non-profits, and this is where it gets interesting. The New Venture Fund, the 1630 Fund, the Hopewell Fund, and the Windward Fund. These 4 non-profits serve as accelerators for yet another range of non-profits that, according to several investigative sources, are fake organizations that are little more than a website and a suite address. Now, we dove into Arabella and its 4 minions because we saw them appear time and again in the midst of the giants, such as the Gates Foundation, the Rockefeller Foundation, etc. As we'd never heard of them before, we decided to look into them. It took us many 24/7 weeks. Never before were financial reports so confusing, so non-transparent. Arabella Advisors and its 4 non-profits use tax regulations to the max, moving money from C3s to C4s, which is more profitable when it comes to tax deductions. Thanks to the pass-through arrangements, funding is passed from one organization to another, making it difficult to trace where a donor's money ends up. As we searched for weeks, our astonishment grew. Then we ran into the work of Capital Research Center. Our findings collaborated with those of their researchers like Hayden Ludwig, who described Arabella as a dark money monster and the left's best-kept secret. Arabella is the left's best-kept secret that proves something money and politics reporters have failed to notice. Non-profits, not the parties, drive our politics. Since Arabella's inception, it's sponsored roughly 340 groups. These fake groups rarely disclose their relationship to Arabella Advisors or any of its 4 in-house non-profits. Nevertheless, many of them accept donations from the public, funds which go to Arabella's non-profits. This system also allows these groups to hide their funders, since it's virtually impossible to trace individual grants to Arabella's 4 non-profits to any particular fake group. These 340 pop-up groups are slick websites posing as grassroots activist groups that can appear and vanish in an instant. Since 2006, this network has pumped a stunning $2.4 billion into politics. Between 2008 and 2018, Arabella's 4 non-profits paid the company nearly $103 million in contracting and management services fees. Interesting money flow, but it gets more interesting. According to various independent researchers, Arabella and its 4 non-profits equal dark money. Dark money is money raised to influence elections. This money is raised by non-profit organizations that do not have to disclose the identity of their donors. In other words, a complete lack of transparency where it concerns millions and millions of dollars, all aimed at one goal and one goal alone: influencing the outcome of elections, or more concrete, making sure the Democrats win at all cost. Let's see if we can find any evidence for such a crude accusation, shall we? Let's have a look at Arabella's 4 non-profits. Any clues there to such conspiracy theories? First, there is the 1630 Fund. In 2018, it received massive anonymous donations. It later turned out that $26.7 million had come from the New Venture Fund, one of its sister funds. The 1630 Fund, the 501c4 advocacy wing of Arabella's non-profit network, is a massive dark money group that boosted Democrats in the 2018 midterm elections with $140 million. The 1630 Fund's biggest single donation, made anonymously, was for $51.7 million, more than the group had ever raised before in an entire year before President Donald Trump was elected. One of 1613 Fund's projects, or pop-up groups, is Demand Justice, an anti-Trump organization. At the beginning of 2018, Demand Justice did not exist, but given the fear that President Trump would nominate federal judges, Arabella popped it into existence with more than $2.5 million from George Soros's Open Society Foundations. It was the same organization that blasted Justice Brett Kavanaugh during his Supreme Court confirmation. Interesting. What about number 2, the Hopewell Fund? The Hopewell Fund is a 501c3 non-profit created in 2015. It primarily manages pro-abortion projects, including Equity Forward, which attacks the Trump administration for opposing the left-wing abortion agenda. Okay. What about number 3? The New Venture Fund. The New Venture Fund, located at the same address, the same suite, number 300, a platform for philanthropists. Between 2014 and 18, New Venture Fund received $1.6 billion in donations. In 2018 alone, this was $395 million, for which they hired consultants for a total sum of $28.3 million, of which $90 million went straight back to Arabella Advisors, his mother company. To give you a nice little example, New Venture Fund sponsors its own project, Media Democracy Fund, located at the same address in DC and the exact same suite, number 300. Media Democracy Fund describes itself as a catalyst for an open, secure, and equitable internet. God knows what that has to do with charity. Well, we can tell you why it was set up in the first place: to push Obama's net neutrality. In other words, to increase the government's control of the internet. We're talking censorship. Media Democracy Fund is run by a few young people with no surnames and no real profile pictures. Still, since its founding in 2006, it has made more than $34 million. Oh, and surprise, it is supported by the Open Society Foundations of George Soros, the multi-billionaire we showed in part 2 of The Fall of the Cabal, the man responsible for his destabilizing and dividing mega projects, such as the illegal alien invasion, Black Lives Matter, and Antifa. Yet another interesting little detail about New Venture Fund is their interest in America Votes, yet another one of their fake pop-ups. New Venture Fund gave a $2.35 million grant to America Votes in 2018. which is a lot of money for a business that, according to its own website, aims to advance progressive policies and win elections. Win elections? Wow, I mean, that is weird. I thought we were looking at charity funds here, right? Well, obviously not. Oh, a new venture fund's sister, the 1630 Fund, gave no less than $27 million to America Votes. All you have to do is take a look at who sponsors American Votes. Take a wild guess, my friends. Democratic Attorneys General Association, Democratic Governors Association, Democratic Legislative Campaign Committee, Democrats.com, National Democratic Redistricting Committee. Oh, and let's not forget Planned Parenthood and Stand Up America, committed to resisting Trump's agenda and unrigging the corrupt system that put him in the White House. Let's make something clear once and for all. First, the corrupt system is exactly what President Trump is fighting. It is the corrupt system that tried to prevent Donald J. Trump from entering the White House. Furthermore, whether you like Trump or not is not relevant. He is your president. He was elected twice by a majority of the American people. That is called democracy. Now, just because you hate Trump doesn't mean he was put in the White House by mistake. There was no Russian collusion, remember? Years of investigations have gone by in which the Democrats did everything they possibly could think of to get rid of their opponent. Well, guess what? It didn't work. They failed miserably. You want to know why? Because, and I will say this again loud and clear, because Donald J. Trump was elected by the majority of the American people to be their president. That's why. So my question to the Democratic Trump haters out there is, which part of democracy don't you understand? The amount of money that is moved around within the limits of the law is staggering. The more we studied this topic, the more we realized that in order to drain the swamp in philanthropy land, laws would have to be rewritten. Over the past 5 years, the David and Lucille Packard Foundation donated no less than $245 million to NGOs working in the area of reproductive health. Remember these names. They will return again and again. Once you understand who they are and how they play the world stage, moving assets around, dominating national policies, you will never again think of these titans as philanthropists. Take Pathfinder. The Pathfinder Fund, fully into reproductive health and family planning, we now know what that means, was founded in 1957 by Clarence Gamble, heir to the Procter & Gamble fortune, an advocate of birth control, forced sterilization of mental patients, and eugenics. Pathfinder received $673 million over the past 5 years to be used for their reproductive health projects. Where did this money come from? Well, their main donors and grantors are the Gates Foundation, the Buffett Foundation, the MacArthur Foundation, the Hewlett Foundation, the Packard Foundation, the Ford Foundation, Vanguard, Fidelity, Schwab, Tides, Global Health Initiatives, part of the WHO, and USAID, that awarded $970 million to Pathfinder in the form of grants and contracts between 2005 and 2021. Other donors are the Novo Foundation, Open Society Foundations from George Soros, the Passport Foundation, Robertson Foundation, Rockefeller Brothers Fund, Rockefeller Foundation, and Wellspring Philanthropic Fund. We cannot stress sufficiently to please do your own research. Simply take one of these sheets and dive into these names. Take Fidelity. According to its IRS Form 990 for 2018, Fidelity Investments Charitable Gift Fund moved nearly $107 million to two of Arabella's nonprofits. The New Venture Fund, $73 million. And Hopewell Fund, $34 million. We can, however, assure you that you will get stuck in the spiderweb of C3s and C4s, and that's where you will meet the end of transparency, if it ever was there in the first place. You see, even though you get some information through the IRS Form 990, the umbrella company Arabella is a for-profit organization, which means they do not have to fill in a 990 form. That's where darkness sets in. As in, indeed, dark money. Okay, let's have a look at the Rockefeller Foundation. I showed the massive power empire of the Rockefellers in my first documentary about the fall of the cabal, in part 2. Now please bear in mind that the Rockefeller Foundation 990 forms contain between 350 and 400 pages each year. So what we did, after having studied each and every one of them, we narrowed it down for you by highlighting some anomalies, those donations that jumped out for their numbers and or recipients. The Rockefeller Foundation gave $666,666 to the City University of New York. Interesting number, associated with the number of the beast. Okay, I'm sure that's just a coincidence, right? The Rockefeller Foundation gave $4 million to DataKind, an NGO for data science. Funded by the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, Open Society Foundations, Microsoft, Rockefeller Foundation, Hewlett Foundation, MasterCard, Google, and others. A data science company? Then it gave $25.7 million to the Alliance for a Green Revolution in Africa. More about this scandalous fraud in part 9. In 2018 alone, the Rockefeller Foundation invested no less than $4.1 billion. Most of the money went to investment companies such as BlackRock, with $4.4 billion in securities apart from charitable purposes. To cut a long and boring story short, let's put it this way. After God knows how many hours of research into the financial reports of these NGOs, we came to the following conclusions. All charity NGOs, in which millions of dollars are moved around, have nothing to do with charity whatsoever. They are simply the perfect business model for money laundering. In spite of the millions or even billions of dollars involved, no tax is paid. The astronomical amounts of money are, apart from being laundered, transferred to support the Democrats and their agendas. Think abortion facilities and other family planning and population control topics. As such, it is the non-profits that drive US policies, not the political parties. Most charity money goes directly to Wall Street, to Nasdaq and other stock exchanges, where it is invested in, well, anything lucrative. Those are projects you do not get access to unless you have a certain clearance level. It could range from legal to illegal investments such as drug and human trafficking. Arabella helps its clients implement center-left political agendas through sometimes risky programming investments. So, our question to you is this. How do you feel about your donation to charity being used to avoid tax, to be invested in risky programming investments, which could be anything, and to go straight to the Democrat Party, either to support a presidential election or to rig one, or to help fund one of their projects such as population control or any other means or method to facilitate the New World Order? How does that make you feel? How can it be that these so-called charities don't have to account for so much money, both where it came from and where it went to? How can it be that these NGOs that move billions around work from a simple suite? There are countless consultancies involved in charity that are granted millions of dollars to do their work. Why, for heaven's sake? I mean, suppose you advise individuals and companies on how to invest money into charity. Don't you simply get paid for your services by your clients? Why does an Office for Data Science receive millions and millions of dollars? To do what? And why is it a non-profit organization? Why does it have major sponsors such as the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, the Open Society Foundations, Microsoft, Rockefeller Foundation, Hewlett Foundation, MasterCard, Google? Why do these NGOs form alliances in order to improve philanthropy? How hard is it to pick a fund and donate? The more we dove into the subject, the more we realized just how insane this all was. Within the limits of the law, oh yes, but insane and wrong nevertheless. The UN, with all of its NGOs and charity funds, connected either directly or indirectly, moving billions around, hens and forth, laundering money to their heart's content, investing enormous amounts on the stock market, making more money and even more without ever having to pay a dime of tax. And like I said, they are all independent from government control and answer to one entity alone, the United Nations. Does this mean all NGOs are bad news? Probably not. I'm sure the smaller ones and the local ones have not been dragged into the dark swamp. I'm sure they do great work, real charity. But the big ones, the ones with the multi-million-dollar